Alright folks, welcome to this exciting video where you once again join me in the wild landscape of Scotland, and for today's adventure we're once again joined by the channel DJ here, and today we've come to the edge of Easthaven. Carnoustie is just basically up that way, and then Arbroath is about 5 miles the opposite way, and today we've basically come to document, hopefully, what we reckon is a World War II airfield, folks, along the coast here. But also we're going to document any other historical wonders that we find along the way. And the first thing that we've seen, like these old vintage tractors, is a Fordson Major over there, which we do love on this channel, but also an international tractor sitting there. But look at this, there's a wee like winch sitting in the grass, look. Check it out folks. This is all fishing related gear for winching the boats in out of the water. And as you can see, the wild North Sea is right on the edge of this piece of land. So yeah, let's head on with this adventure folks. Abandoned history of Scotland once again. Check it out folks, the ScotRail train leaving Easthaven. It's getting the throttle open for this next stretch. And then look at these cows here happy in the foreground, eating the Scottish grass. Yeah, there you go folks, if you're going up and down this east coast line, this is roughly where you'll be travelling on the train. And if you look out the window you might see amazing landscapes like this. I can see somebody kicking about up out in a dinghy kind of thing there, maybe doing a spot of fishing, or maybe out to get creel nets. So once again for this adventure folks, look, you can see the rainstorms up behind. This is actually the Tay estuary leading away in there, and then over at the other side you can see the lands of Fife. But basically this weekend there's been super heavy rainstorms moving over the land, and it's just literally luck if one of them comes directly your way. But you know what it's like on this channel folks, we're out all weathers, all conditions, try to make these adventures possible. And basically the World War II airfield and history is actually up here, this kind of general direction. So we're just reading the land. Look, there is a crossing over the railway there. Yeah. We need to safely make our way across the railway basically folks. Right folks, we've just made our way back along the coast to Easthaven since the last clip that you saw, because we had no way of getting across the railway track. The only way over was like a railway crossing, and it said no unauthorised access. So we always respect stuff like that, and now we've come into this little field at the side of Easthaven and we're basically heading up diagonally. It looks like a well-trodden path here by the farmer. So we're just basically heading up this direction here to document the history. But now, as you can also see, the rain's come on pretty heavy. But I think the heart of the storm's still behind us, so I think it could get even heavier yet. We might need to take shelter in some of these trees or whatever. So there we are folks, we've just literally walked up the side of the field, avoiding any of the crops. We never want to damage any crops or property, and it's led us right up round. The main road's just up here, but already we can actually see remains of the World War II hangars which still stand within this piece of land. But an interesting thing about this airfield, this wasn't actually an RAF airfield like a lot of the ones we visit on the channel. This was interestingly actually a Navy training airfield. So a cool thing about this airfield, they actually had on the ground on one of the main runways the shape of an aircraft carrier, so the pilots could actually train how to land on such a system. And I think they actually had arrestor cables and stuff built in to the ground, which is such an interesting historical detail of the site. Yeah, look, there's old hangars here, and then look, old buildings. Looks like that one's still used for the boys' garage. It'd be so interesting to go and have a look at some of these sites. So check this out here folks, this is one of these amazing old World War II buildings that still stands on the land here to tell the wee bit of story of history. You can see there's a few buildings, each in like a different condition of decay. Little remains telling the story of that World War II history. And from here I'm not sure where the actual runway would have been. Do you know where it would have been roughly? Channel DJ is on the map system here. There is actually meant to be like a battle headquarters bunker as well within this airfield. I see a lot of it now is the modern farm, but also there's a modern like digestate kind of plant running. Oh, the old runway's down that way there folks. Check this out, folks. We've just jumped the fence to have a closer look at this building here, because this sort of stuff's just super interesting, like old underground, maybe like waterways. And look at this here. There's like a ladder going up the stonework, and then what would have been inside here? You can see now it's actually full of like trees and vegetation. Wow, I wonder what it's been. It's maybe one, like I've seen drains like that, but also anti-aircraft guns I've often seen as well, with like similar construction. Here, it could be super interesting to have a wee look inside that building there. Yeah, it's got a ladder in, so I'm not sure what this would have been. So interesting, folks. Look at this, folks. Look at this mad little building here, a World War II building. Shout out Davey that I just spoke to in that tractor there. He was parking up the case as we came into the farmyard. Look at this entrance here, folks. Wow, what is even round this corner? We're in the heart of World War II history once again. Oh look, it's been like a generator platform or whatever. This is often what generators had, platforms built up like this, separate to the ground. Look how the tree is pushing and busting the wall out. And often that's how history like this gets deleted. Little videos like this often save the history for future generations to see what was here in the war. And just think about this, it's a Navy airfield, never seen before on the channel. Yeah, look, there's some big like cast iron lid there. Yeah, we often see like RAF airfields, so this is a different dynamic today. Probably built similar ways. But yeah, we're just hoping to document as many of these little buildings as we can, obviously with the respect to the landowner. And I think that's somebody's current shed there, so there's no point in going to it. Check it out, folks, even in this rough piece of land here, there's been buildings and stuff, a lot of stuff being demolished, I think by the farmer. Often farmers would obviously take back the land which was theirs, which was originally taken by the military at the start of the war. And then after the war, everything was given back to the original landowners. So some farmers obviously demolished what was there. Sometimes with these airfield buildings, they were so well constructed that they were actually difficult to get rid of. So sometimes the history stands on the land just to tell that story. So slightly further along this road, folks, look, you can see another one of these stone complexes here with a wee ladder going up the side. This one's got a massive concrete pad. I was theorising these could have been little defensive positions, but when you see them, there's a lot of them, because there's another one over there. And it seems to have been the perfect habitat to save the trees. When the trees are growing, the cows have not been able to eat them, so the trees have grown up, and then that's busted the stonework apart, the red brickwork. So look at it, folks, at this side there's this big house which has actually got an old ducat, which is quite cool. But in the garden of this house you can see this World War II construction right here. We're not going to go in poking about, obviously, because we always come with the greatest respects, like landowners and house owners. Yeah, this whole wall's leaning like heck. Yeah, it's interesting. Look at those pipes coming out of the wall. I think that wall's in position to stop blast and going in the door.
Looks like it could almost be 2 stories.
Wow, that's amazing. I wonder if these places often had a good few generator sheds. The one we just saw is clearly like different to this. But the way that opening is with the louvers at the far end, so cool to see. Yeah, it's like they use it for a garden shed nowadays. Which is cool that it is still getting used for a purpose. But we just love the atmosphere and the history of the World War II time period. Yeah, wow. Yeah, we can clearly see here that other little red surround. So we've now kind of walked around the circumference of that area there, and like I say to the landowners and that, we always do come with the respect to them, and we're not going poking about in anything that looks super private. It's just the abandoned history we like documenting on this channel. Generations to come can see what was there. Look, the sun's sticking up right there. So there we are, folks. We just spoke to the farmer. I think it's like Niven Farms. We spoke to the boy in the John Deere, and he actually gave us permission to come around and look at the old airfield that was here, the old runway I should say. And this is basically it over at this side. I don't think there's much for it left, but you can kind of see the mark on the land where it was. And we're just obviously following this mud track here. And then this field here has been cut. I think it's ryegrass that they plant, and then they cut it for like that system in there. I think they get the gas off it or whatever. And yeah, this must be, whoa, I nearly dropped the camera there, folks. This here must be the old runway that we're actually on right now, right this second. Wow, look at it, folks. And was there no actually meant to be a bit here where there was like practicing for landing on a boat?
Yeah, an aircraft.
So is this one of the runways, and then there's another one that way?
This could be the ice.
Yeah, there's actually 3 separate runways, folks. Or no separate, but there's 3 different long straight pieces. So this was actually called RNAS Easthaven, HMS Peewit, and that was the proper name of this site back in the war. Obviously a lot of the history's gone and been deleted now from the current farmer, and that's understandable. A lot of the time these folks need back their land, because it's obviously prime agricultural land out here. So a lot of the original old runways here, folks, has actually been covered back over. The cement and the tar of the old runways has been lifted, and now it's back to agricultural lands. You can still see faint scars of the original runways, but it's cool still to document the location of that on this video. Shout out to the farmer for giving us permission to come around this way and have a look. Obviously, even with permission, we're still no just crushing crops and stuff. This is all freshly cut, so they've gotten a good harvest for this field. Yeah, that biomass place, it's a fair setup. I think these are big chambers with like gas and stuff in them. It says gas grid injection unit on that shed, so it just shows you global environmental technology, folks. Check this out here, folks. This is one of the World War II buildings that still stands. We had a look further away a minute ago, but I just wanted to come in and have a look inside. Look, the old windows are still in position here. Wow, just check that out, folks. Look at the old latches. The last remains of the World War II glass. And wow, it's just crazy to be in here and imagine the history. We're literally walking about in the scar or skeleton of World War II. And before we left this site, I just thought it was so cool to nip over the fence and just document what's left. Probably quite an industrial building, judging from the size of the door. And there was actually something on the roof of this place. It looked like some electronic, maybe like where cables or whatever was coming into the building. But yeah, there's been remains of stuff all over here, and there was a lot more hangars which has actually been destroyed since the war. So there's actually more historical parts of this airfield that further down, probably like a couple of miles further down the coast. But instead of walking over this wild land, I'm going to go back to my car and we're going to drive further down, so we're nearer that location. So right now, for the rest of this video, we need to make our way back to Easthaven, where I'm parked. And it is just the craziest of adventures on this channel, folks. Me and the channel DJ, we just go full send into nature, and look at the state of my shoes right now. Wow, that was my new trainers probably like a couple of months ago, and already I've been through mud and I'm soaked to the skin down there, folks. But that's just what it's like on these adventures. It adds to the fun. So there we are, folks. We've made it back to the sleepy coastal village of Easthaven, and it was cool to see that. That's basically episode 1 of that Easthaven Navy training airfield. Crazy piece of World War II history, almost gone and forgotten from the land. Every year more of it disappears and decays. And with the next episode on the channel, tune in again in a couple of days, because maybe even tomorrow, because we're going to have episode 2 of more of the interesting history further along the coast, still related to the same airfield. So it's cool just to keep documenting more and more with these videos. Each adventure, going places we've never been, seeing things that we've never seen. We're ending this one here, folks. Thanks very much for watching. Goodbye from me, goodbye for the channel DJ, and we'll catch you very soon for the next one, when we document more of this crazy abandoned history.